I've had quite a few requests for me to make a video showing how I made the turtle shell turkey call with the glass soundboard. And I do have a turtle shell that I can use, but the only problem is this one is too big for the 3.5-inch slate that I use. So I'm going to have to find at least a 4.5-inch piece of slate. What I want to show you before I explain how I made the call is a turkey call that I made a few years ago. I named it Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtles. And I was drilling holes in the bottom of it, and while I was drilling a hole, one busted out, and that happened. So it still sounds good, but all I did with this was glue a 3.5-inch piece of slate to the shell itself. That's all I did to this. No soundboard. And it doesn't sound terrible. But I wanted the sound to resonate a little more. So what I did with this call was that I cut this off even, level. And you can see that this one has the angle on it. It still has that rim around the bottom of the shell, and this one I cut off. While I was out the other day on a turkey hunt, I accidentally broke the slate playing surface. So since the slate playing surface is gone and I removed it to replace it with another one, I'm going to show you what's on the inside and how I made the items for this call. I made it as rough as possible. I didn't want to go purchase a lot of items. I wanted to make them myself. And the only items purchased to make the call was the slate playing surface and the glass soundboard. As you can see, there is a little platform that the soundboard is glued to. This is a piece of willow. The dimensions for this platform is 3/4 this way and 1.5 inches this way. This is a 1.5-inch thick piece of willow. And what I did first with this was I took my knife and I just carved down to remove the bark. I just wanted to make it smooth by removing the bark. Remember, this is 1.5 inches in diameter. And what I'm going to do is take a 1-inch drill bit and drill right down in the center, a little over 1 inch. As you can see, that is just 1 inch, but I only want 3/4 of an inch and cut this off. This needs to be as straight a cut as possible. I just want to make everything with my hands and use no machines for this except for the drill. And this is what I used for the little platform that I glued the soundboard to. A piece of willow that measures 3/4 of an inch this way and 1.5 inches this way, with a 1-inch hole drilled in the center. You could use something like this. It's a piece of plastic. It's an empty roll of Teflon tape. You could use PVC or anything that would serve as a little platform. I just choose to use the rough cut willow. The glue that I use on all of my turkey calls is E6000. This comes highly recommended from a lot of turkey call makers. I'm going to take and put a heaping amount of the E6000 around the bottom of the platform, and then we're going to glue it to the bottom or the inside of the bottom of the turtle shell. What we would want to do is put a clamp or some type of weight to hold it down or press it together until it dries. For now, we're just going to pretend that the slate is actually the glass soundboard, because I don't have another glass soundboard at the moment. We're going to take another heaping amount of the E6000 and we're going to put it around the top of the platform. And then we want to glue the glass soundboard to that platform, and we want to make sure that it's center. If it was glass, you could tell if you were in the center of it or not. But we do not want it to touch the edge of the turtle shell so that it can vibrate while we're playing the call. Then we want to let that dry for about 24 hours as well. The last thing I need to do is to glue the slate to the turtle shell. And I want to determine where I want this to sit. I want to leave this end open because this end is already going to be open. That gives it more radiance to be able to hear and the sound to escape the turtle shell. So that's about where I want it to sit. I will put glue here to circle this and to circle this because these two ends are open, and then I'm going to let this dry. I can still see the markings where I had the last piece of slate on here that I had to remove. So I'm just going to put glue on those same markings. Now I'm going to set a light book on top of this, and I'm going to let this dry for 24 hours. And that's how I made the turtle shell turkey call with a glass soundboard. This is going to have to dry for 24 hours. I know I just mentioned that, but if you want to hear how this call sounds, look on my TikTok channel. I have a couple different videos of me playing this call, and it sounds really good. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.